Top story, haters gonna hate on his holy beefiness for his lit-ass Burning Man rally for Christians this weekend in Tulsa. But Trump knows the real story, not just because he was the only one there.
We actually had a nice crowd, and despite all of the warnings and everything else that other networks were trying to do, we had the highest ratings in the history of Fox on Saturday night. And online, I heard the record was unbelievable.
MAGA momentum is so intense that a record number of Americans wanted to gawk at this freak show. Here to discuss is Democratic Congressman from Massachusetts, Seth Moulton. Shout out to the first tough Seth we've ever met.
How you doing? Good to be on the show.
Thanks for being here, Congressman. Apparently, some jokers reserved 1 million tickets to Trump's rally and never showed.
Imagine.
That brings us to our first hot take declaration of war. And it's against K-pop stans and TikTok teens. Listen, kids, I am 46 years old. I sat so close to the screen in Saving Private Ryan that I technically fought in World War II, and you will respect me. Congressman, we both served this country. You in Iraq, me at the Regal Cinema on MacArthur Street. Tell these kids free expression is not what we fought for.
Well, your service sounds a lot like our president's.
Thank you so
much. He likes to think of himself as a veteran as well. Unfortunately, we have a president who uses the military to suppress dissent, to stop peaceful protest, to fundamentally curtail the rights that he should be protecting and expanding.
I did not hold Tom Hanks' dying body in my buttery hands for TikTok teens to have the right to do something super funny. Let's talk about these ballots, everybody. The libs still want to terrorize decent Americans with mail-in ballots, but Trump's fighting back. Mush your eye nuts against this beautiful tweet. Rigged 2020 election. Millions of mail-in ballots will be printed by foreign countries and others. It will be the scandal of our lifetimes. And everybody, I have it on good word from my brain's fear module that ballot caravans will soon arrive at the southern border. Congressman, please reassure us that the southern border wall will not have any mail slots.
Well, you know, it's interesting that the president votes by mail. So maybe he knows a thing or two about this, but he tries to dodge his federal taxes by claiming residency in Florida. And so he's a vote-by-mail guy himself.
Honey, we need to shut off the mailing from other countries. Close the mail tubes or airways or whatever, you know? Fancy doctor man, where does the mail come from?
No one knows. It's widely theorized that the Postal Service writes the mail.
Most illegal immigration is not through the border, but rather air travel. The customs questionnaire should ask, are you a ballot?
This brings us to our second ever declaration of war, this time against mail.
We're coming.
Time for a hot take side note. I love Mark Wahlberg. He has never done anything wrong. Yeah. All right, back to the tournament of geniuses, Keen excluded. It's time for I'm Not Done. I have not forgotten what Shake Shack did to those New York cops, and in solidarity, I am getting diarrhea. I will be drinking 5 milkshakes, then doing 1,000 pistol squats in a sauna until the job is done. Bonnie?
You know, my town's morgue had a statue out front of a Confederate soldier who accidentally shot his face to mist. I was worried Antifa would take it down, so I pulled it down with my ATV and dragged his clunky bronze ass to my garden bathtub. Now my grandpa's gonna have to bathe his filth off in the creek. Sorry, Grampy.
Well, thank you for taking the statue down.
Someone has a crush on me. Someone has a crush on me.
And for me, for Father's Day, my son beat the shit out of me. And though I needed my ocular nerves restitched, it did bring us closer together. So I have to say, great holiday.